Hey guys, my name is Nikki and I'm going to welcome you here to Carry Grace. Alright, so today I'm going to be sharing with you the secret that I found to getting more things done and being productive. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so welcome back to Carry Grace. If you have been here for a while, if you are new, thank you so much for joining in and I'm happy to have you here. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about the secret that I finally found that is making a huge difference in how productive I am. Everybody wants to be more productive. Some of us are better at this than others. I fall in the category with definitely needing some help. So let me give you a little bit of a backstory first, and then I'm going to share with you what I'm doing now that's made the most difference. Okay, so I have been a stay-at-home mom now for 15 years. I homeschool both of our boys. They have both always been homeschooled. And for years, I've done okay. Things have been okay. But this last year, when our lives got a lot busier than they have been, I found myself in a really dark hole of being unproductive, and it was not good. It started affecting our home, it started affecting our homeschool and all of the things. And so I knew that I really needed to find a way to fix this and figure out what I needed to do to get my act together. Now, for years, I have thought that I needed a new cleaning routine. If you have been here for a while, you know I have jumped all over the place to new cleaning routines. I've created new cleaning routines, all the things, but really what I lacked was a way to block my schedule. Now, because I'm a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool mom that really kind of didn't have a set schedule, I didn't have a lot of things going that I needed to do, I felt like I always had plenty of time to do the things, and so I would procrastinate. Now, like I said, I have managed it pretty well, but in this last year, it has become apparent that I needed to make a huge change because things were just not going great and I was procrastinating on everything and it was just a mess. So like I said, I knew I needed to do something different. Now, I am not the kind of person that can sit down and say at 7:30, I'm gonna do this exact thing. And then at 7:45, I'm gonna move on to this thing. And I don't need like super structured. But what I was lacking was any structure at all. I always, like I said, felt like I had all the time in the world because I didn't have a set schedule. So I would put off things that I didn't need to put off, and I would kind of get stuck in like really focused on doing one thing and didn't want to move on to the next thing until that thing was done. And what was happening is because I was so super focused on one thing, now that's going to happen and should happen from time to time, but it was becoming a problem. So I would get super focused on one thing and didn't want to move on to the next thing. So I became behind and it just wasn't good. So like I said, I started kind of doing some research trying to figure out what I needed to do. So I started looking into block scheduling. Now, the reason I started doing this is because, I kind of thought about how people that work, people that go to school, they kind of have a block of time to do certain things and then they move on to the next thing. So what I was doing, like I said, is because I was so super focused on one thing and felt like I had all the time in the world when really I didn't, I never stopped. I just kept going. I wasn't sleeping. I was staying up all night doing the things that needed to be done. And it was just a cycle I knew I had to break. So block scheduling, I felt like might be my answer. I felt like maybe defining some blocks in my day might give me kind of a better roadmap and help me switch from one thing to the next. All right, so it wasn't long after I started looking into this that my friend Lisa from To Each Their Own Home, she did a video on how she had adopted the method of block scheduling and how it had really made a difference in her life. And when I watched her video, it really let me know that I was definitely on the right track. Now, there's a lot of videos that you can watch on time blocking or block scheduling or whatever you want to call it. Jordan Page, she does a lot of videos on it. I think I watched one of her videos, and then I really just decided that instead of getting a lot of input from everywhere, that I really just needed to focus on how I felt like I needed to do it for me, because sometimes you can get on information overload and just totally stress yourself out, and that is not what I needed. So I basically just sat down and kind of looked at my day and looked at the things that I knew I needed to get done every day. I kind of tried to look at how our day kind of transitions naturally, and you know, different commitments that we have, and all of those things. I was taking into consideration the daily focuses that I had already established that were working really well for me with the Fly Lady system. And so I'm just, you know, making a list of all these things, just all the things. And then I decided to just start breaking things down. So I'm gonna just share with you how I broke my day down and how it's really working. So one thing I do want to point out is a block schedule is not like a rigid schedule where, like I said, you're not doing something at 8:30 and then jumping to the next thing at 9 o'clock, and then, you know, 9:30, it's time to do this. That's not what this is. You're gonna have a chunk of time that is probably, you know, 2 or 3 hours of time where you use that block of time to do some specific things. Now, those specific things can be kind of a list of things. They don't have to be they don't have to necessarily be the exact same thing every day. So maybe in your afternoon time, maybe that is when you're going to be running errands, or maybe it's when you take your kids somewhere, or maybe it is when you do house cleaning. But anyway, it may look different from day to day, but you know that during that set block of time, that is when you were going to do XYZ. Okay, so the way my day kind of looks is from 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. That is my morning work block. So at 5 a.m., if I have some editing or kind of behind the scenes computer work that I need to do for my channel, that is when I will get up and I will start working on that. Then at 6 o'clock, I kind of transition just for a few minutes. I make my husband's lunch and see him off to work, and then I quickly get back to work and I work until 8 o'clock. Now, I kind of have another little window in my 5 to 8 o'clock block, and that is from 7 to 8 o'clock. If I am going to work out, it is going to be during that time. So some days I do that, other days I choose to work, but I do have that time set aside that if I'm going to get a workout in, I need to do it in that allotted space. Again, I may choose not to, I may choose to work instead, but that's okay. All right, so then from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, that is just kind of my personal morning routine block. So during that time, that is when I'm going to be taking a shower, getting myself ready for the day, making my bed, all of my morning routine kind of things, having breakfast. And it is a 2-hour block because I do not like to be rushed. I want to know that if I want to take a long shower and take plenty of time getting ready, that I have the option to do that. So that is my personal morning block where I get things, you know, the morning routine kind of things done around my house and get myself ready. All right, so that brings us to 10 o'clock. From 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, that is my school block. So from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, my kids know that during that time, they have my undivided attention. So if one of them has a lesson that we are going to be doing together, one-on-one, that will happen during that block. If I need to grade papers or plan next week's lessons or all the things that have to happen during school, that is when I give school my undivided attention. I'm not checking emails, I am not doing laundry, I'm not doing any of those things. I am just focused on school, and my kids know that if they need something from me for school, that it's gotta happen then. Now my kids, they take longer than 3 hours to do schoolwork. Just wanna throw that out there, but they do have a lot of work that they do independently, and they do that on their time. But like I said, that is just my time that I have dedicated for school. So we also eat lunch during that block. It kind of varies a little bit. It might be 11:30, it might be 12, 12:30, just kind of depends on how the school day is going and when they are hungry. But again, I have left that in that block because it's also a time where I can just sit down and chat with my kids and have lunch with my kids and not feel bad. I feel like I'm actually spending some time with them and shouldn't be working on anything else. And so that has been working really well. All right, so from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, I haven't really named this block, but it is when I am going to get stuff done. That is my get stuff done block. That is when I am going to work on my Fly Lady daily focuses. It is when, if I have a project that I want to do, like if I want to paint something or decorate something or whatever, I do it during that time. If I need to run errands, grocery shop, you know, all of those things, that happens in that 1 to 4 o'clock block. And I do have different things for each day because of my Fly Lady system, and it's working really well. But all of the things, errands, appointments, all those things happen in that allotted time, and then I just get to decide what I'm gonna do that day. Okay, so my next block is from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Now this is just kind of a small 1 hour block, but the reason for that is because I feel like I need a little bit of time every afternoon to kind of transition into our evening. The main reason is because most of our evenings are very different from one to the next. Sometimes we have practices to get to, sometimes we have church things to get to, sometimes we actually have a night we get to stay home, and just many different things that I feel like we have to do in the evenings. So that 4 to 5 o'clock hour, that's kind of my transition into figuring out and remembering what I need to do. It kind of gives me a few minutes to close out what I'm doing, because in my 1 to 4 block, that is when like I said, I'm running errands or filming or working. You know, I have a designated list to do. And so that gives me time to kind of transition. It also gives me time to get dinner ready. We have some nights that we have to leave right at 5 o'clock and we need to have already eaten. And so that 4 to 5 o'clock, some nights, that is when I am feeding my kids dinner so that we can get out the door and getting them ready for all the things. And if it's a day that we get to stay home, it's honestly just an hour that I get to just breathe and feel like I don't have to do anything. And it is a very welcomed thing in my life. So anyway, that's kind of my transition. Sometimes it's cooking dinner, sometimes it's already having the kids already fed, all of those things. And then my evening block is from 6 to 8 o'clock. Now during this block of time, this is typically when I am running kids somewhere or at church or at a practice or at whatever the thing is, or sitting at home eating dinner, cleaning up. We're gonna finish putting laundry away if it hasn't been done yet, just kind of tidying things up. Maybe I'll do a quick kind of run through the house, make sure things are cleaned off, counters are cleaned off, hot spots, all of those things. And then my favorite block is the 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock block. Now there are definitely nights where I'm not home by 8 o'clock, and that's okay. So I would still just be wherever it is that I am for the evening. But on the nights that I am home, I have finally given myself permission to stop doing whatever it is that I'm doing at 8 o'clock and just relax. I am not editing videos like I used to do. I am not working on laundry like I used to do. I am not doing anything but relaxing. I'm sitting with my husband watching TV or watching a movie with one of my kids, or just whatever it is that I want to do to relax. Some nights I read, but like I said, it's just my time to chill, unwind, catch up with my family, and enjoy the evening. And then 10 o'clock until 5 o'clock the next morning, that is when I sleep, and that's a good block also. So like I said, I was really struggling with getting things done and being productive and figuring out when I needed to do things. And the biggest thing that was happening is I was procrastinating. So then because I was procrastinating, I never stopped. And so now I have a way to transition from one thing to the next. And then when the next day rolls around, if I didn't finish something, I know where I need to pick up and get started again. So it's made a huge difference. And like I said, I have been doing this for a little while now. It's been a couple of months, and I do still have to really think about it Now it is coming a lot easier than it did in the very beginning, but it's getting a lot easier. I still just kind of have to keep it at the front of my mind though, so that I am reminding myself, hey, it is time to stop and go to this. But it's nice that I have a block of time. I have blocks of time throughout the day, and I have a list of all the things that may or may not need to happen in those blocks. And then I get to choose what is happening in that block because of, you know, I've deemed that the most important thing for the day. And then when it's time to move on to the next thing, I can. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you in case you too may be struggling with productivity. You're struggling with getting things done. You're struggling with putting things off and procrastinating. I was there. I did it for a long time. I'm not saying that I don't ever have days where I still kind of want to fall back into that, but I'm working really hard to continue to stay motivated and continue to make progress, and it's going really well. So I wanted to share that with you. Also, I did mention that Jordan Page is somebody that talks about productivity a lot, and her ads got me. Y'all know that I really enjoy planners. I enjoy reviewing planners, and she put her productivity planner on sale. So I picked one up, and so it should be here soon. So in the near future, I will be reviewing that planner. You do not have to have that planner to start blocking your schedule. You don't have to have that planner for anything really, but some of you may like it. You may feel like you could benefit from it. So I did purchase one, and we'll be sharing it with you guys soon. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're new to my channel and not already subscribed, please consider subscribing down below, and I will see you guys soon.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that